Today the weather in Edinburgh is beautiful. The sun is shining and the festival is in full fringe. Everybody is out in the streets and the city is the busiest that it will be at any time of the year. Even during something as overwhelmingly manic as the Fringe, you can still find little islands of tranquility, even in the most unexpected places. I'm currently in a coffee shop called Wellington Coffee, and it is in the heart of the city centre, and it's empty, which is amazing. Away from the crowds and the people that are all waiting at a crossing before they realise they have to press a button to get across. That is so common, by the way. Like, the number of people that just stood there being like, why won't the traffic stop? It's like, it's because you didn't press the button to switch the crossing on. That's why you've been stood here for 20 minutes. I thought you'd maybe figure that out by now. But anyway, that happens. Kelpie Seaweed Ale brewed with natural flavours. Gotta try anything once, right? Based on a 19th century Scottish coastal recipe, Kelpie's unique flavour is achieved through the inclusion of fresh bladderwrack seaweed, resulting in a rich chocolate ale with an aroma of fresh sea breeze and a distinctive malty texture. I'm not sure if I'm getting the seaweed, but I like it, so I'm okay with it. Also, I really like the colour the label is, this kind of like really deep moody blue. I'm a fan. Yeah, this gets a pass, it's great. So every Fringe there are a lot of shows, and it's basically impossible to see all of it unless you had all the money in the universe and also probably a time machine. So one of the things that gets published every year is this, and I forget if it's always a blue book or if it changes colour, but I'm going to call it the blue book this year because it says the wee blue book. So that makes sense. So it says that there are 500 free shows on over 50 stages. A lot of these can be in very random places, and I'll get into that in a minute when I start talking about some of the shows I've gone to see, but they can end up being in nightclubs that have been repurposed, and I've seen them in abandoned shopping malls, and all sorts. Alright, so the first show that I went to see was one called First Actress, and the blurb for it is, set in the dressing room of a London theatre of the 17th century, First Actress explores the sexual politics of the day through the relationship between Margaret Hughes, the first actress of the English stage, and her dresser, Thomas. And no surname is given because we have to assume that Thomas is a fictional character. So after that I saw a show called First Time Buyers, and it was on a bourbon bar, which I've never been in before. Can the dead pay rent? Simon and Craig are newly engaged and they found their dream home. Sure, the neighbour is a bit weird, and the damp's a problem. Oh, and the ghosts of the former owners won't bugger off. But apart from all that, it's fine. A comedy play. That blurb sounded really great, and I don't know... Well, actually, I do know what was the problem. This wasn't very good. It wasn't very good. I really wanted to like it, but there was just a lot of very basic technical issues. The venue, again, did not help, but I think you could have saved it if it had just been written better. There was a lot of that just kind of like dead space dialogue that means nothing and does nothing and nobody cares about. You could have happily chopped 20 minutes out of this play and it would have still been fucking fine. In fact, it would have probably been more succinct, which I think is something this needed. And then the last one I've seen so far was actually a Shakespeare, which, given that I hate Shakespeare, was remarkable. But I don't actually have a blurb for this, so I'm gonna... that can go. So it was put on by a production company called Some Kind of Theatre. And I've known them for a few years. I've been drunk with them several times. And they have this particular aesthetic with this book. And it's sort of this collapsible frame. Essentially it's this frame, and as scenes progress, actors will like flip open different pages of the book to change the scenery. It's a really cool idea and I really like it. It really works for what they do. Getting me to like Shakespeare is really difficult, and I liked this production. So there we go. I mean, that's a sort of on the ground, no nonsense, no pretense kind of, I liked the play. I wouldn't say it was the best play at the Fringe or anything, but I liked the play.
Close